Hello and welcome to another episode of Friends on the Other Bus. Hello if you are on YouTube and hello if you are on Spotify, because you can now watch us on Spotify as well as not only hear us. So we have another episode for you today on this lovely bright morning that we've got going on outside. Lee, hello, please explain yourself and why you are here.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on. It's such a pleasure to actually be on
Thank
your
you for
podcast.
joining me. Thank you. I have to grab people by the ankles, kicking and screaming sometimes to get them on the show. But here you are. Tell people who are watching and listening a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
So I've known Melly quite a while now. I first met her through TikTok and the lovely work that she does, and I've also been to a few of her events. So I'm a psychic medium clairvoyant. I've been doing that since 2004, let's say. So I spent 17 years in a spiritualist church as a president. But I started off as a basic member, just attending, and I literally just got stuck in there and things just evolved, literally.
We're going to start right at the beginning. I need to tell you that I can hear a woman's voice while you're talking.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know whether, if anybody's watching, hopefully that might... It sounded like somebody went and said something. Now, this happens all the time.
How
I always
interesting.
get... Wait and see.
Yeah, definitely.
But thank you very much. I don't normally do notes, as you know, because we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
And when people watch us, we want them to sit there with a cup of tea going, oh, I feel like I'm part of this little group that's going on here. But I've wrote notes for you, and I tell you why. Everything that you've done is vast. You've done so many things. So I don't want to miss anything, but I don't want to spend too long on the same thing. So we've discussed, haven't we, that we have got loads of other episodes that we're going to be able to do. Haven't
Indeed.
we? We have. So, guys, watch this space. We're going to talk about exorcisms. We're going to talk about removal of negative energies. The list goes on, doesn't it? So we're going to...
Huge.
Huge. You sound like a fisherman. I've caught a fish. It's huge. So we're just going to skedaddle or scoot over a few of the little things. So let's start right from the beginning, Lee, with you, because I know that you had quite a difficult upbringing with kind of like with regards to illnesses and conditions and things like that. So give us a little bit of information about that, if you don't mind.
No, of course.
Thank you.
So back in 1984, I sprained my neck and playing outside my nursery. And my parents took me to a local children's hospital, and they found out I had a medical condition called neurocystic fibromatosis type 1. At the time, didn't really know much about it. So I went from one hospital to another hospital to another hospital, and eventually said to my parents, well, we don't know much about this medical condition, but I believe he's going to live to his 11th birthday.
Oh, my God.
And yeah, so...
Well, you're here, so clearly something was...
Yeah, well, they've always been kind of underestimating me.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, so I've had lots of different types of surgery. So with my medical condition, it affects primarily my kidneys. I've got scoliosis of the spine, loads of other different things. I've had a tumour removed from this eye, and yeah, so lots of different hurdles through my life, really. And yeah, so went to a SEND school, well, two SEND schools, primary up to the age of 7, then into specialist education.
Wow.
And that's really kind of formed my, because I'm dyslexic, I don't read or write, I dictate and I do voice to text. And so, yeah, where I've had that point of lack there, it seems my spiritual side has really kind of exploded. I've always been able to see spirit from a very young age, from the age of about 4.
Yeah, same as me. I was 4.
It's laying in my cot and see the mobile above my head, and there was a man and a woman at the end of the bed. Don't know who they were. They must have been in their mid-20s. And I said, when's the lady and man coming back? They were just picking up my toys and just, you know, like talking to each other, and I want to see the man and lady.
Did you never know who they were?
No.
It's weird that you say that, because I always had a man and woman who I thought were my mum and dad, tucking me into bed and making sure I was all right. That is so weird. I've never heard anybody else say that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anyone else say that as well. And looking through my photo albums at home as a child, my mum's always been spiritual. She saw spirit. And she goes, is any of them in here? No, they're young, mummy, they're young. They're like early 20s, like 24 maybe and 23.
Wow.
So yeah, I've never seen them again. 70s kind of look.
Yeah.
During the 70s, like young guy had a leather jacket on, brown leather jacket. I can't remember what. I think she was just wearing a dress.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I always thought mine were my parents, and then when I realised it wasn't my parents, I thought maybe it's my grandparents. But I have, is another episode, I have Pleiadian and Atlantan. So I think that it's that. I actually think I do believe that all spiritual children, especially, are guided and watched religiously on a continuous basis. So I think that... Do you think that the fact that you knew that there was all that spiritual stuff going on with you, do you think that that is what maybe got you through a lot of the tough times as a child?
Yeah, it's going to sound really weird, but I know I've always been protected, no matter what I've gone through.
I feel like that.
There's always been the point where you're going to feel fear because you're the uncertainty of whatever you're going through. But what I found is that there's always been markers, breadcrumbs to say everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And I've met amazing people throughout my life who have been integral parts to all of my journeys, really. There's always seemed to have been a guardian angel of some sort who manifests in many different ways. And that's very grateful for that.
It is, you start to notice all the different people that will come into your life, reasons and seasons, as we like to say. I completely believe that. One thing I do know, I found a link with, I don't know whether you will identify as this. I have never ever met a highly intuitive spiritual being that has not had either massive illness, major surgery, or a continued lifelong illness of some form. Every single one of us has had a near-death experience more than once. There have been moments when we definitely shouldn't have been here, and I've always said throughout the whole of my life growing up, I feel fully protected. I feel like I levitate above other people. That sounds really conceited, but you understand what I'm saying with that.
You're coming from, yes, 100%.
So I feel fully protected, and I've always said that, and everyone used to say to me as a child, well, why? And I used to go, because I just am. I know I am. I know I am, and we've kind of got through. So what got you to the Spirit Church? Did you find solace in there? And
no, because that wasn't my first stopping point.
Okay.
Interest in spirituality. So either God, if you want to call it God, or again, I was a child. So when I was a child, I used to draw pictures of gravestones when I was about 5 years old, which terrified my parents because they thought I was prophesying my... And I would draw pictures and going to funerals and christenings, I would run around the gravestones playing with invisible children. And I've got home videos of my dad with his video camera, videoing me as a 5-year-old running around, and I'm playing with kids. They can't see it. I've always had this appreciation, I'm going to call it, for churches, all different types of religion, life after death. Again, I was a child. One of our family friends died, and I said to my dad, "When heaven is she there yet?" I was asked this for probably about 4 weeks. She's at heaven now, and I think that's where it kind of comes as a young child, and knowing that I've always known there is something else after this experience of life, and I always knew there was more. And I think it came from, as a child.
Mm. Yeah, I think as a child, if you have this belief, and mine never went away, and my dad nurtured me, and I was the same as you. Used to play hide and seek in graveyards. I was never scared of stuff like that. Because I know you wrote a book. Was your book about spiritualism? What was your book about?
Spiritualism. So the book is based in 2017. I was rushed into hospital with kidney failure. So I was rushed into hospital. They done tests. I was knocked out. So I was under general anaesthetic, and they transferred me from Essex to London. And essentially I woke up about 5.5 weeks later after having 2 lots of surgery. They done a kidney bypass on the kidney using a vein out of my leg, which is 3 millimetres thick, which at the time was ground first ever. The surgeon has done it 1 millimetre vein since on a child, and saved another child. And so I was in a coma. But before they put me to sleep, I have this ritual every time I have a general anaesthetic. I ask my spirit guides to come in and to protect me, to protect the ones I love. And if it's my time, bring me home.
Yeah.
Well, this time around, they decided to bring me home. So I left my body, spent the equivalent of 12 years, and then 5.5 weeks in spirit realms.
Oh my God, that's another episode in itself. Oh
and
my God.
Life, and learn loads of different stuff about this reality, the spirit, the lower planes. That's the lower vibration to everyone
How
else.
have I only just found this out about you?
Yeah, it's still more to write. The only reason why I wrote the book, it wasn't even a book, I had to get it out of my head. So I was released from hospital on the 30th of December. 2 days, and I literally got home. I said, "Where's my laptop?" And I literally put the old microphone on what I'm wearing and spent the months dictating my experience. So brief outline, and I went deeper, deeper, deeper. And yeah, every time I open the book, I haven't published it yet, it's like I read it, I need to add another paragraph. And it's like never ending. What I need to do is actually just, get it out there. Because, it's fascinating. The
That is
information.
incredible. That's incredible. I believe in glitches and timeline slips and completely believe in all that. That is definitely quantum traveling. All that is absolutely spot on. I've got a lady on my show on Saturday that went to bed as a 27-year-old woman and woke up as an 8-year-old child and had to relive her life again.
Wow.
And never went back to being that 27. She carried on her life even further. She's on that. I need to know more. I know we're talking about spiritual. Look how excited I get. I can't wait to find out even more about this one.
Yeah, definitely. We can go in there. Yeah, 100%.
Yay, giddy. Fantastic. So, where are we going now with the life? So you've done the book.
I've done the book. Since I came out of the coma, I was very heavily involved in the church. Like I said, I was vice president at the time. And because me and my friend used to swap roles because we do every 2 years. And I kind of moved away from the spiritual side because my experience being in the coma was kind of, now you need to work on self. You need to truly understand self, the earthly aspect of you, because that's where the work needs to be done.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing since 2017 and still on that journey now.
Yeah, we're always evolving, we're always learning.
Always.
I teach spiritual development. I learn something every time I teach.
Yes, we do.
It's like, they teach me things I say. You teach me stuff I didn't realise. And yeah, we're always evolving. We've got to, because the soul is constantly evolving, which is why it never dies. It's just a body that disappears into the ground. The soul continues.
Absolutely.
I had a conversation yesterday. When I teach spiritual development, I say to every single person in my class, what do you think your soul looks like? And everybody says the same thing. Oh, it's a ball of energy, it's shiny. Me, as a child, thought my soul looked like a minstrel. You know the sweet?
Yeah.
I don't, but it's on its side, and it's dark, and it just stays that colour, and then when you die, it lights up. That was always my imagination of the soul. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
How your brain...
No, it's not weird at all.
Yeah, it's
because we
weird.
all see our reality of the world is all different to each other.
We can never judge anybody, can we? Because we don't know
we
how
can
they
look
see
at
it.
the same thing and get a different message from it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about this world, you know.
It is.
It's
The
really,
good things in the world, yes. The bad things,
yes.
not so great. And the
No.
world is full of a lot of egos.
It
So,
is.
I want to talk about your spiritual church. And I just want to say this to you without any discrimination to anybody that's involved with the spiritual church community. I didn't have a great experience with the spiritual church when I used to go, but I was a child, okay? So I was 13, 14. My dad took me. Nobody believed that I was psychic, even though my mum had taken me to the doctor and said my daughter speaks to dead people and all that kind of shitoodle. I didn't know what an ego was at that age, but I knew that they were not very kind people to me because I was a young girl, okay? And I don't think I ever earned any respect within any of them, even though I was nice to people. Do you understand where I'm going with that?
100%.
There is a lot of... I love spiritual church and it's a beautiful place to be if you want a message, but sometimes there is a lot of egos.
Big time.
There are people that say, I'm more psychic than you. But that's a spiritual community in the world in general, isn't it? And I make a point of, especially on TikTok, people will say, what do you think of that medium? And I go, I'm not here to judge them because I don't live in their head. I don't know their powers. I don't know what their abilities are. So tell me, without it sounding like it's a bad place to be, there are things that aren't.
Yeah, the spiritual church, on the whole, are beautiful places. Amazing people run them. But what you've got to remember is, why are you there? Really, reason why I went to a spiritual, because I wanted to learn. As soon as I got in the door, within 4 weeks, I had the keys to the place. Because they saw my potential, they saw who I was, and I wanted to serve spirit. So that's what I went there. That was my purpose there, to serve spirit, to serve the church, to help those who walk through the door. But people have got everyone's got a different agenda who want to be there. Very testing times being at Spiritualist Church. During my time, we had the bigwigs come down and try to throw us all out. Several different meetings about other people's behaviour. They soon figured out who was causing the ruckus and the problems. And during that transition, that's where I kind of got pointed out. I didn't want to be the vice president. I think you'll make a brilliant vice president. Oh, I don't want it, because of what I see, the other egos who was in that position. But you haven't got that, Lee. I thought, okay, so I kind of gave in, because my friend was going to take the presidency position. And we evolved the place so much, by following the rule book. And yeah, it's a challenge following the rule book, but the amount of different things we've done and the transformations in the church, we redecorated it over Christmas one year completely. We've done a lot for that place.
So spiritual churches are not owned by one person. They're like a community thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which is why it's like being in business with 10 different personalities. That's why we're not saying they're a bad place to go. Please don't come at me. What I found is, what one person said, another person didn't. That person then had to be involved in text that. It just felt a little bit like that. There's a lot of people that know better than the next, and that's how it felt.
Yeah. Well, that's the committee. So you got two
committee. That's the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now listen, working men clubs are the same. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yes,
it's not just because it's a spiritual community.
Definitely. So two different types of spiritualist church, as far as I'm aware of. You've got the privately owned, which is either by one individual, two individuals, or a collective. Like they're the chair people who generally are in charge. Or you've got an SNU church, which I was a part of. So technically, politics, I'm going to go into it, we don't own the church, so they say, and we're given a rule book we have to follow, which is like the church law, as we used to call it, and then you have the committee. So you've got the committee, then you've got the members. So you've got the full members. So we serve the church for the full members, so that all members, they can just sign up. And what happens then, if they want to become a full member, they do something called the B1, which is like an exam. So you become part of the religion, and you become part of the religion, and you become a full member. So technically, the members own the church.
And once you're a full member, it gives you a voice. And this is where the problems can start.
Yes.
Now, I've made it no secret to you, we've had this conversation quite a few times, and I have done an online spiritual church. I would love to buy a building and open it as a spiritual community place. I can't really call it a church, I can call it something else. But I've had this conversation with you, and it would be like nothing, it would not have any of this shitootle going on, because people can just, because I mean, especially it's the minute you get members, and that's where I think the problem lies. But they need the members to bring the money into the place, because obviously there's an upkeep.
Yeah.
Because you do it for free, don't you? It's all
Yes.
free. It's all free.
Yeah.
And the readers that come along, that take the stand or take the podium, as they call it, they work for peanuts. They do it for experience and to get the messages out there.
We pay their expenses.
Yeah.
So, for example, it's about £15 to do.
Yeah.
We charge give a medium to do a service, but we just pay their expenses. So it's done on a voluntary basis. Some churches are different.
Yeah.
Our church was still is £15. It's been like that for years.
Wow.
So they come to, like me, to serve spirit.
And that's all that's all what spiritual beings, that's all we want to do.
Yeah.
But the earthbound stuff that goes on is what kind of like it ruins it. So anybody can come along on whatever night it was. That used to be Sunday night, Saturday night, and a Wednesday afternoon when I used to go to mine with my dad. Anybody can go along, sit down, get some healing at the end, get your messages. My dad always used to say, sit next to the organ, you always get a message. It's like, all right, Dad, here we are next to the organ again. And whenever anybody sat next to the organ, we'd go, oh, they're after a message. And then a cup of tea afterwards and a chat. And it was lovely. I loved it. I found great comfort in it.
Yeah, it is a beautiful experience. It is really, especially because it tea and cake after biscuits.
And a bit healing.
Healing. The conversations is like, technically we finish at 9 o'clock, but we've closed the door at 11:30 before because people are just staying behind for tea and buying tea, obviously. And
telling you the life stories.
Yeah.
So what does it involve, the day-to-day running? Because there'll be things like, there'll be services, they'll be dealing with booking the mediums months and months and months in advance. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and this is stuff that you were doing for nothing. And there's all development circles and healing. Is a healing circles?
The whole lot. So in our church, you have the president, vice president, medium secretary, accountant, which is secretary, and you've got warden. So about 5 different people have 5 primary roles, and they're called the officers. And outside of that, you've got the committee members, but it's all done for free. We don't pay, but the mediums. I think we now booked 2027. I think Chris has done it. Yeah, and it's because people say, "Oh, why can't you just get good mediums?" And it's like, you can't do that. You have to mix it up.
People are developing. Some people will come along and do a stand, and they've probably never done it before today.
Yeah, loads of times we've had that.
How are they going to learn? And the audience have got to be kind.
Exactly.
The public have got to be kind.
Yeah.
How are these going to develop unless they've got if they've got the guts to stand up there in front of people, then they've got the guts to
put my hand up to them.
Because it's nerve-wracking. Have you done the stand? Have you taken the stand?
Yeah. I've done loads of chairing. Like, I can't even count how many times I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done platform mediumship. I've run 6 circles from beginner, intermediate to advanced, and trance circles I've done. Loads of different things. Yeah.
I love stuff like that. It does take a lot of responsibility because a medium stands there. I did...
commitment.
It is commitment, and this is the key. This is the key to being a medium and doing anything spiritual. It's commitment. It's not just I'm going to turn on today and I'll be all right. It's a full-time working on yourself, cleansing yourself, protecting yourself, making sure it is it's my full-time job, as you know.
Yeah.
But I did Hillsborough Arena was my last show, which was 2 years ago. I've not done one since because I've had a lot of things going on. And you stand there in front of 100, 150 people and go, wow, shit, there's a lot of people here. And you have to trust that your spirit guide is going to work. So you have to build that relationship with them, which is why these guides need to be able to stand on the podium and do the readings, because they need to have that trust.
Yeah.
So give me the good points and the bad points about doing that job.
Good points. Community.
Okay.
Friendship. It's like Paula and Colleen, my spiritual sisters. They've been there for me when I was in hospital. They literally up in the hospital every other day, supporting my family, giving my sister a break. And our friendship is like when Larry passed away, Colleen's partner. I done his funeral service. It's that.
That's
if it weren't for them two, I don't think I would have stayed as long as I did. I love the community, the support. That's the good. Bad points, the egos. I wanted to paint a fence outside the church, but I needed at least 2 people to help me do it. Weren't interested.
No.
Didn't get done for 5 years. And it's people was not committed as I was. And that was one of the biggest struggles for me. It's like, I wanted to make a new hymn book, because we made our own. All these new modern hymns, but because I can't read or write or spell properly, it's getting someone. Yeah. So I asked the best person in the building who's good at spelling. She's a English teacher. weren't interested in helping me.
It's funny, isn't it? Because some people just want to do the minimum, but I know you're very similar to me. If you've got something to do,
Hold on.
we are. We're both Virgos. When's your birthday anyway?
The 2nd of September was
Oh,
last
you
week.
had it. Oh,
Yeah,
mine was last
well,
week.
didn't do nothing. Just another day.
But we are both Virgos, so we give 100%. We give 150%. We fully enfold ourselves into something that we do, which is why this is a really good job for us. I think that you're right about the people that you're around. The only reason my experience, I think, was like it was, is because I was young. They didn't like that I was young. They're more psychic than me. You don't or can't be psychic. But there were some lovely people. And then I ended up in a development circle. It was transmediumship. And I used to go to somebody's house that I met through Spirit Church. And there was probably about 8 people, and only 2 of them were nice. The others were not nice. I was going to this stranger's house every week for 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours, and they were just not very nice to me. And then I realised that there'd been something had happened years previous with one of my uncles, and there'd been a disagreement, and they realised who I was, and they had used that against me from all them years ago. And then I left when I knew that was the case. I left then anyway. I was only in my 20s at this point. But that's all I've ever... And then I could never find my spirit. I didn't have that luxury that you've got. I didn't have these. I had my dad, but I didn't have these people like you. Do you know what I mean? Until I've been older, really. And I'm now really careful about the energy I keep, and I don't ever want to be around people that are like that, when it comes to spiritualism.
It was trouble with lots and lots of trouble with that, especially when I was first there. Within the first 2 years, like I said, I literally got thrown in the deep end. I was there probably about 2 weeks before I was invited into the closed circle, another closed circle which was held in the church by the mediums. I went along and they said, yeah, we want you to join. Because I had that much of a connection to spirit. My mediumship weren't that great, but I was so connected to spirit, and I gelled with them and said, yeah. But my circle leader at the time threw a hissy fit, and she said, I can't go, and she caused a ruckus in the church. But yeah, I learned very quickly, not all spiritual people are good people.
They're not, but they're here to test us.
Yeah. Someone on them.
The what, sorry?
I was giving someone a message. We was doing a open circle, and I gave someone a message next to me, and the circle leader went berserk. I don't know why she went berserk, and everyone in, what's going on? She goes, there was nothing wrong with your message. And the woman who was helping her out at the time, she goes, she's jealous of you because you're a better medium.
This is what you get. You do get this.
Yeah, you do.
It's weird. Why is it like that? It's like this on TikTok now. I've never seen so much toxicity. People calling other people out as mediums. I hate all that.
They're doing it from a wounded place, aren't they? They're doing it from the point of view of wounding. So they're not going. They're going there to make themselves feel more significant. I'm a medium. I'm a psychic, so I can help people, rather than them helping themselves where their shadows are, putting light in their shadows and healing that part. They're not doing that, but you will get that. It's almost like it attracts. I think I counted about 4 different types of people. Either those who want to serve and to bring light, those who want something to do. I could do that because it's easy, or it's achievable. You've got other people who want to do it literally to ego.
Yeah.
I'm a medium. I'm on stage. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. Look at me. I'm a prince. I'm a princess. And then you've got the other few who literally do it for manipulation.
Yeah.
Use their gift for a manipulative tool. One medium in particular I can think of, it will give women reading and they'll go off with them and, oh, he's such a blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Yeah.
What, somebody you know?
Someone I know. Male and female, so it wasn't really...
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Well-known medium as well. Really well-known.
Oh, wow.
Especially when I first started going there. Yeah, this person was in a psychic news and all different kind of publication on TV as well. We worked with Derek Akora.
You're going to have to tell me afterwards.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Watch this space. There are People say to me, what do you want to do? I just want to deliver messages. I just want to teach you. I just want to show you. I just want that. I'm not bothered about the money. I'm not bothered about that. As long as I pay my bills. And people go, well, why do you not do it for free then? Because I'd be dead. I can't do 14-hour days for nothing.
No.
This is all free. You're doing this free. I'm doing this free. I'm not making money out of it. We're just getting the word out there.
Yes, you can do it for free, but it's very disempowering when you do it for free, full stop.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
Yeah.
doing
I did for a long time. I'm not going to lie. And you did for a long time as well.
Yeah, and it's really not good for your power.
Yeah.
Because you're giving away your energy, but you're not really... Everything is give and take.
Yeah, it's got to be
the flow of
equal.
energy, and when you just keep give, it's not really good.
No.
Because you'll just burn yourself out, and you're not doing yourself any justice.
So you ended up leaving. You're no longer with the Spirit Church,
No.
but you're still in connection.
I'm still a
aren't you?
member.
Yeah.
I'm still a member. 2022, I decided to step back. Purely for the reason being that...
I think that's when we met, isn't it?
Yes, it was, literally. Probably about a month after.
Was
I
it?
think it's when we first got
You
in
see,
contact.
that door
yeah.
closed and I
And that one
opened.
opens.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really got disheartened with it.
Yeah.
It's almost like I was going there essentially for my friend Colleen and Paula, and they were the only reason, the two people I was going for. But now I kind of felt I'm not going to be dragged somewhere. You know, I love the place, don't get me wrong, but with all the different challenges we have being a committee, it's like we all have to unanimously agree on doing something new. I just wanted more.
Yeah.
And that's when it's kind of about a year before Mum passed away. And after Mum passed, I thought, now this is going to sound really strange. Now I'm free.
I get you.
Because I cared for Mum and done a lot with Mum. Spent a lot of time with her looking after her, even though she's like 60 miles away. And I just wanted leisure time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's why I kind of found the personal growth path and really kind of working on self, the earthly aspect of Lee, working on those wounds and all the rest of it, and still working on it, like spirituality's ever evolving, ever growing.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's why I'm kind of now.
It's good to heal. It's good to identify that there are times within our lives where we need to take a step back and we need to work on ourselves, because we very easily can be blindsided into that world that's actually is not a very nice place to be and can make us unhappy. So can I ask you, because you do healing, can I have a little bit of a snippet?
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it?
sure.
'Cause you're like me, you're jack of all trades, you do everything. You're good at everything. We're Virgos.
Yeah.
Tell me about your healing.
So my healing, it's my own kind of way of doing it. I've done spiritual healing, hands-on spiritual healing in church. I can do it the normal way, but I've always kind of felt, well, this is okay, but if I do this and I do that. So I kind of got into that when I'd done my Reiki one. This was years ago, back in 2005. And I used to practice on people, and it all kind of kicked off when someone said, a family member said, can you come and speak to my nephew? And that's when I kind of really got into the area where I specialise in. So a friend of mine was having some issues, and so I brought some sage along. I thought, let me just clean his aura, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of went in, not kind of blind, but unaware of what was ahead. So I'd done some hands-on spiritual healing with my family member, extended family member. And so we sat outside, sat him on a chair, and put my hands on his shoulder, and I felt something was inside him, something moving. What the hell's that? So I kind of closed my eyes, meditated, and yeah, my family member had an attachment on him. And I thought, oh. So I didn't know what I was doing. This is completely kind of going with my instincts. So I started burning the sage and Salo Panto. Because I want you to close your eyes for me. Because I don't feel like I could just try. So he's closed his eyes, so I'm kind of just... So what I'm doing is I'm taking him on a meditative journey. Knew kind of what I was doing, didn't know what I was doing. And I goes, what are you feeling? He goes, I feel like something wants to come out. I goes, well, let it. And lo and behold, he had the spirit of his unborn child. within him. And I spoke to this child, and I couldn't move it at the time. I said, okay. I goes, well, can you go asleep for me? So agreed, and he came back too, and I told him what I thought was going on. He goes, yeah, yeah. So lo and behold, his partner at the time, her mother, how can I put this? Advised her to
Yeah, I get what I know what
get
you're going
rid.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah, at 6 months.
Ooh,
Late
shit.
on.
Shit.
Yeah. And so I got my friend Steve, called my circle leader at the time, Steve. I was in a spiritual shop downstairs. He was a pagan high priest of Babylon.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing. And I kind of said, goes, yeah, I could help with that. And a few days later he came and I helped him
Move the child on.
move the child on
Yeah.
and clear his...
Yeah.
went into the Temple of the Soul and, yeah, moved the child on.
Wow.
And that's where I first got introduced to spirit attachment.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of really, that's kind of my area I really kind of specialise in. But I
Yeah.
do hands-on healing as well.
You do. Yeah. I know we've talked about healing. You talking about moving people on there. Did you do the paranormal in Blackpool? You
I did,
do
yes.
the paranormal.
Yeah.
But you missed what we were doing. We were on the stairs at the back. In case anybody's wondering what we're talking about, we do paranormal investigations. And we did the Regency Theatre in Blackpool, which was rife. Absolutely, it was rife with people. It was a museum and it had artefacts from every era. There'd been demonic energies in the cellar and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, we were on the back stairs. We had the spirit box on. And I basically said, does anybody want moving on? And I opened the doors and the windows and da-da-da-da, like I do, and send them to the light. And it sounded like people were racing for a bus. We've never heard anything like it. We were like that. We were crying. I wish we'd recorded it. We were crying. And then I said, thank you, love and light, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to close the doors and windows now. Thank you. And then one woman's voice said, wait. And then some man's voice said, she's child. And you could hear footsteps. You heard a little child say, thank you. Bang, gone. And we were all like that, absolutely stunned. It was as if we'd opened the doors of a Harrods sale and everybody had bolted for the handbags. I've done lots of moving children on especially. And then at the end you'll say, is such and such still there? And they normally say crossed over, but this, I've never seen anything like it. It was like a race. Completely blew my head.
Yeah, that building was rife.
Very active, wasn't it?
I moved on at least 6.
Yeah, there was a lot going on,
Massive hub of spiritual activity.
I'd like to go back.
It would be nice.
We're at Shrewsbury Prison next in October. That's the next one. So talk to me. I want to know a little bit more about kind of like the dark side of what you do with regards to like exorcisms, attachments and that kind of thing. Can you give me a little bit of insight?
Yeah. One that really does come to mind is me, Paula and Colleen went to a large house, about 9 bedrooms, really old. So this, first of all, was like a coach lodge, but they built on it, extended it. Huge building. And the family were having arguments with each other. They also had someone with dementia there.
Okay.
Yeah, really.
Alarm bell straight away in my head. Know what's going on here.
Yeah. So we got in there. So I took the kit with me, as I call it. So Palo Santo, sage,
Holy water.
frankincense, holy water. We took about 5 litres of holy water, actually. Made some clearance sprays. And
You gave me a clearance spray. We used them on the paranormals.
Went to the very top floor, to the far north corner, and went around in kind of a circle. So we done the top floor, came down, went on the bottom floor in a circle again. We kind of got into the corner and I'm thinking, where are all these spirits? I can feel them. Opened up one of the doors and there was probably about 150 spirit beings in this room.
Oh, God.
I said, what are you doing in here? He goes, he's locked us in. Who's locked you in? Turned round and my friend's gone into trance. So I have this capability where I can put someone into a bubble. So I put this being into a bubble. Suspended him. And I goes, do you want to leave? He goes, but he's not going to hurt you. Yeah. So we opened up a portal. Like in the theatre, you could feel the wind as they all charged. And I just cried. It's like tears just poured out of me. It's like, and I just couldn't control it. It's like
you
crying.
can. Do you think you were feeling their emotions and their relief?
I literally felt.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, the relief of them being able to leave, and the excitement, and them seeing their loved ones, and their loved ones obviously came in here. I think probably the last one goes, "What do you want me to do with him?" Goes, "Do with him what you will." So I goes, "You've got two options because you know where you're going to end up going. You're going to be in a realm that you don't really want to be in, or do you want to face the consequences and go into the light?" He goes, "I want to go into the light." But what was really weird, we sent him into the light, but he kind of split into two. Part of him went into the light, and another part of him didn't want to go.
Okay.
And that was really, I've never seen this before. And he goes, "Destroy it." And that's what I did. I destroyed what was remaining. But it wasn't, you heard of an egregore?
I've heard of it, but I'm not 100%.
So, yeah, so what
Is
I
it
destroyed
like
essentially.
somebody pretending to be part of somebody's...
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
part of a belief system. If you believe that my drinking bowl is a god and it's powerful, me and you just have to believe. We create a connection to it. So it's a conscious awareness, but not fully conscious. It's what we've represented it to be. So what I destroyed was what the people in the house and all the people that knew this person, his dark side.
Okay.
So it wasn't a part of him. It was his ego.
I was just going to say his ego, yeah, his
His
alter
ego. That's the best way to describe it.
He must have been quite a bad energy to have had that.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because after we'd done that particular room, I said, "Where's the cellar?" He goes, "Well, it was over there." So I had to literally sit down and go into the cellar. He used to lock people away down there, girls. And yeah, and I told him to come up, and we put them into life. But that was probably the most powerfulest experience I had. We was there for about 8 hours in total.
And you've got to stay calm throughout.
Yeah.
And stay clear-headed. Because what people don't realise is we create a negative energy.
Yes. And that's what the issue was with the household.
Yeah.
Because to a point, something happened. I ain't going to go into it.
Yeah.
But something happened between the couple. What caused... they started to argue about it. And then it affected the kids because it was affecting the females in the house. They were being pinned down and all sorts of different...
Yeah.
The child that lived there, the girl, she wouldn't stay in the house. She'd moved out.
Wow.
And, So
but people worry and feed it and feed it and feed it,
Yeah,
and then
and
mental health, and then, like you say, dementia, and it feeds this energy that builds up and builds up and builds up and then becomes much more powerful, which is why when people say, "I think I've got something at my house," I go, "Just ignore it, just feed it, don't feed it."
Yeah, and the person with dementia, he was broadcasting what the spirits wanted to communicate. So I shut his connection off to spirit.
Yeah.
Along with Paul, we kind of did it collectively. But yeah, since then, touch wood, peaceful as anything.
Yay! That's what you want.
Yeah, but it seems like every time when it doesn't come up all the time. It's not something I do on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But
It's
when it comes
exhausting,
up,
isn't
it's
it?
big. You wouldn't want to do it every day. Absolutely not. I think I slept for 16 hours when I finally fell asleep because it was like I was on a high after.
This is what people don't realise, that any spirit work like that is absolutely draining. You know how tired we are after a paranormal investigation.
Yes.
I know how tired I get after I've done a show, or even a live on TikTok doing readings. It is physically and mentally exhausting, but something like that takes a lot of power from you because you've got to stay in the right energy, you can't afford to let anything slip or below
No.
because you've got to be fully compos mentis. I went to a house where I have to be quite careful actually because I don't think she'll watch, but I went to a house for something, and there'd been an incident where where every time she picked the baby up out of the bed, she felt as if the baby was being pulled back down again. And I didn't know anything about the house. I'd gone with a few people, and I always make a point of knowing nothing before I get there. And I walked in straight away, saw exactly what it was on the landing, hanging down. You know what I'm saying? And I went in and I went, oh, yeah, I know what it is. And she went, what? And I went, da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, did you buy the house off a woman, an older woman on her own whose husband had died? And she went, yeah. And I went, there you go. And we cleaned it and cleansed it. And we all started crying. We couldn't stop crying. I actually saw the television that was off go, whoa, and do that with a light. That's the only time, you know, you stand there and go, oh, hang on a minute, that was it. And that's the moment I realised that televisions, another series, televisions are portals.
Yes, anything, any type of glass.
Mirrors.
Mirror,
laptops,
definitely. Yeah.
Phones. People don't realise. But that's another episode in itself. So tell us, I'm just reading my notes here because I said, I said with you that I was going to make notes with you because you're very complex in a nice way. How can somebody protect themselves?
Well, the first form of protection that I was taught from many years ago is that best form of protection is knowing that you're safe.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're protected. As soon as you pray to spirit and ask for protection, you are protected. As an extra layer to that, what I tend to use is, I imagine I'm wearing medieval armour. So on the outside it's shiny, it's like a mirror. So whatever negative intention or intentions or vibration hits that mirror and it's propelled back. Inside the mirror it's like one-way glass, so it's like tinted. Love can go through and love can be received. You have to be really mindful and pacific that you are protected. But there's quite a few different ways of protection. I've even used like a crystal. I've got on yet. Crystal bracelet. I've worn this around my neck for about 19 years, my jade. And the only time it was taken off was when I was in the coma. They took it off. Now there's a big thing on the front of my neck. Do not take the crystal off Lee's neck, no matter what. Yeah.
I think protection's a big thing. I think it's a very important thing. And I know for me in particular, I've got, if I'm going away on any trips and things like that, I draw Archangel Michael's symbol on my feet, on my hand. And I do it with all my children as well. I've got a crucifix at my door. I've got rosemary and lavender growing at the front and the back of the house. I've got evil eyes. I've got the Hamza eye. I've got lots of, and the usual things like that. I take my energy transfer very, very carefully about who I even frequent or who I have around me even, because we can pick up on energy from people just by simply being in their area. I call it area, but energy. So it is. So what would you recommend if somebody wanted to get into doing like spirit church or wanted to get into do spiritual stuff? What would be the simple things that you would say to them just to protect themselves every day? Would it be to wear a crystal? Would it be that sort of thing?
Yeah, you can. Or... It depends what you want to do. You can even literally write on a piece of paper, you know, what you actually want from spirit. Protection, physically, spiritually, on every level. Even prayer. Is a form
I used
of
to
protection.
pray all the time as a child.
Yeah, prayer. I draw my power back to me. That's a really good prayer to use of a night time and in the morning. But what I would say is be consistent with it. As soon as you can make it a part of your daily practice, a part of your ritual, part of your routine. If you want to become more spiritual, I would use journaling. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've got hundreds of them up here. I even
Journaling.
journal now.
Yeah. Journaling is awesome. Journaling. If you can, visit a spiritualist church. Go with an open mind. I would suggest try not and fully explode yourself into the spirit. Go and test the waters. All spiritualist churches are different. They're all run slightly different. But it's a great community to discover more, to answer questions, get your questions answered.
And go with your gut. Listen to your gut. Where does your gut want to take you? Where does your gut want to lead you? And remember that everybody that steps into your path is here for a reason, or they're here for a season, because everybody is a lesson.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So before I let you disappear off, my last question, what motivates you and where are you going next?
Oh, what motivates me? I would say my purpose. My purpose motivates me. And my purpose essentially is to be of service to others, to enlighten others, to be of value, to be the best that I am. But also, first and foremost, is for my purpose is me. So it's for myself as well. One of the biggest things I've learned is to put myself first, because one, burnout. And yeah, that's probably the biggest lesson is it's okay to have a passion, but you've got to think of yourself first. Is it going to burn you out? And yeah. But yeah.
I'll have to keep that cup full, don't we? We can't drink from an empty cup. Where are you going next, do you think? Have you got plans of where you want to be, or are you just riding the storm and seeing where it's taking you?
I'm riding the wave, the wave at the moment. I don't know where I'm going to be or where I'm going to head.
Yeah.
I'd still like to do some more stuff online, but a part of me wants to kind of create something huge and just share it, but that's not really me. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe the odd podcast here and there and just share bits and pieces.
We've got
when
more.
I can. Well, yeah, exactly. Which is going to be absolutely awesome.
It is. We've got some really exciting stuff. We were chatting before, anybody who's watching still. My cat's in the background.
Yes, mine's on my lap.
I could hear your cat. We've been discussing we've been through some notes and things, and I said, that, and then I went, oh my God, that's another series. So we've got some really good series. If anybody's interested and has a specific thing that they want us to cover, please comment in the comments and say, I'd like to hear a little bit like that, because we do that.
Or any questions?
Yeah, most definitely. Lee, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Having you. And yeah, watch this space. Let's plan the next one. You're up for it?
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Perfect. Listen, guys, thank you very much for watching today. And we will catch up with you again soon. Take care now. Bye.